want to say hi? You want to say hi to everybody? Hmm? Here's our big puppy. Okay. Okay. You know. Hello and good evening. Dead Texan here, and welcome to the first episode of Texplained, a new series where I break down a variety of topics into something simple and easy to understand, in less time than it takes your manager to realize how long you've been in the bathroom. Which makes me wonder if the act of breaking down subjects and making them easier to understand and calling it Texplained is actually an insult. Oh well, we're going to go with it. Now, this is the calmer side of the channel, family friendly and hopefully, eventually, sponsor friendly, and something I can actually show my mom without having her pray over me. Now, a little background, as I've said in other videos, I've struggled with what to make on this channel since it seems you need to fit in a niche these days, whereas I'm more of a jack of all trades. I'm knowledgeable on a lot of things, but not really specialized on any one subject, so I figured I'd lean into it. So expect this series to cover everything: science, history, movies, pop culture, random knowledge, whatever I feel like, honestly. But don't worry, FTP is not going away just yet. Some folks still desperately need to be told,
Fuck that puto. Fuck that puto.
but today for the inaugural episode, I wanted to choose something that destroyed my sleep schedule, ruined my productivity, but blessed me with some of the best and most fun game memories I've ever had, and the namesake of this channel: World of Warcraft. The game that turned basement kids into raid leaders, created countless friendships, destroyed more relationships than Instagram thirst traps, and also spawned one of the most iconic South Park episodes ever.
How do you kill that which has no life?
It's a world with 20 years of lore, retcons, dragons, demons, space goats, cosmic forces, world-stabbing titans, and an orc that's so holy he's referred to as Green Jesus. Today I'm giving you the basic history and lore dump of Blizzard and the world of Warcraft they created, and why this game refuses to die, no matter how many times Blizzard tries to kill it.
So it begins.
The Warcraft story doesn't start with Azeroth, the Orcs, or the Alliance. It starts with cosmic powers. The big players are the Light, cosmic good but kind of culty, represented best by the Naru, beings of pure light. Everything you do is to benefit and spread the light. The Void, cosmic evil, but sometimes hot elves worship it, embodied by the Voidlords that are from another dimension trying desperately to break into ours to spread their corruption. The Titans, giant space gods who build planets like IKEA furniture then ghost you. The Burning Legion, demon army sent to destroy all life everywhere, created by the fallen titan Sargeras to fight the corruption of the Void. His thought process: the Void can't corrupt life if there's no life left. The Old Gods, nightmare squids sent by the Voidlords that want your world, your sanity, and your browser history. From this cosmic soup comes Azeroth, a normal planet except one little detail. Azeroth has a Titan soul inside of it. A big one, a powerful one. Basically the Eddie Hall of Titans, although they do refer to the soul as a her, so a female Eddie Hall? This makes Azeroth the most important planet in the universe, which is why literally everyone tries to invade it like it's a store with free brisket samples. Azeroth wasn't always swords and castles. Early Azeroth had elemental lords fighting each other like drunk relatives at Thanksgiving. Old gods falling from the stars, rooting themselves into the planet like evil barnacles, and Titan Keepers showing up like, hey, break it up. The Titans imprisoned the old gods, which they had to when one Titan tried ripping out one of the old gods and caused a ton of damage. They created order, set up some robot caretakers, and bounced. Kind of like your dad when he went to get the milk. And then the old gods were like, ha, nice try, and started corrupting everything they could. They created the curse of flesh, changing Titan creations into mortal beings, making it easier for them to corrupt. Hello, Dead Texan from the future. Quick interjection. I have learned that this is actually the old lore and has been retconned at least somewhat in the War Within. I still believe that the old gods could have had a part in making Titan creations mortal, particularly in the Northrend region where they had the heavy influence with the Oldawar. But also, it appears that Azeroth herself was also involved in not necessarily making them mortal to corrupt, but giving them free will, which in turn made them mortal. This has all been in an effort to show that Azeroth is not just a Titan soul. It actually shows in the storytelling that the Titans themselves have been trying to shape Azeroth into a Titan, which would make her the most powerful Titan, just like how the Void sent the old gods in an attempt to corrupt Azeroth into becoming probably the most powerful Void being in the universe. So this just really shows how just because the Light and Titans are on the quote-unquote good side doesn't necessarily mean that they are doing good things. This becomes important later because almost every problem in Warcraft lore can be traced back to the old gods or some dude being corrupted by the old gods. 10,000 years before the events of WoW, Queen Azshara and the Night Elves got a little too cozy with arcane magic and invited Sargeras to come through the Well of Eternity like a portal. The war to stop him and the Burning Legion from entering our world caused a catastrophic explosion called the Sundering. The planet literally cracked apart, sinking most of it underwater. Azeroth was reshaped into the continents we know today, although they do keep adding more, which is kind of weird. Night Elves became immortal forest dwellers, some got mutated into Naga, a sea serpent race, some trolls evolved into High Elves and later Blood Elves, creating the Sunwell, which we'll go over later. This event is a big turning point for everything in Warcraft. Meanwhile, on another planet called Draenor, home of peaceful shamanistic orcs, the demon lord Kil'jaeden shows up like a cosmic insurance salesman. He manipulates the warlock Gul'dan and convinces the orcs to drink demon blood, which is never a good idea. And boom, the orcs turn into green bloodthirsty invaders and become the Horde. They open the dark portal, invade Azeroth, and wage a brutal war against the human kingdom of Stormwind. The first war basically went down like orcs invade, Stormwind falls, humans lose. Then the second war, the humans regroup with dwarves, elves, and gnomes. They form the Alliance, and the Alliance wins this time. Afterwards, the Horde fractures, Gul'dan betrays everyone, and the orcs are defeated and interned in camps. This is where we are introduced to Thrall, aka Green Jesus. With some help, he frees the imprisoned orcs, frees himself from the control of the demon's blood curse thanks to Grommash Hellscream,
Thrall, the blood haze has lifted. The demon's fire has burnt out in my veins. I have freed myself. No, old friend. You've freed us all.
gains allies with some trolls in Tauren, and settles in an area called Durotar, named after Thrall's father Durotan, and sets up the capital city of Orgrimmar. If you remember one thing from Warcraft lore, let it be Arthas Menethil. He's WoW's Darth Vader, the good prince who became the ultimate villain. Here's a quick timeline. A demonic dreadlord helps create the Lich King, a frozen undead general, and sends an undead invasion to the eastern kingdoms. Arthas, the idealistic but reckless prince of Lordaeron, tries to save his people but keeps making worse decisions than a teenager in a horror movie.
Why can't we just get in the running car?
Are you crazy? Let's hide behind the chainsaws.
Smart. Yeah, okay.
In one instance, he decides to purge the city of Stratholme after discovering infected grain, which infected the entire city. This drove a wedge between his mentor and allies.
Oh no. We're too late. These people have all been infected. They may look fine now, but it's just a matter of time before they turn into the undead.
What?
This entire city must be purged.
How can you even consider that? There's got to be some other way.
Damn it, Uther. As your future king, I order you to purge this city.
You are not my king yet, boy. Nor would I obey that command even if you were.
Then I must consider this an act of treason.
Treason? Have you lost your mind, Arthas?
Have I? Lord Uther, by my right of succession and the sovereignty of my crown, I hereby relieve you of your command and suspend your paladins from service.
Arthas, you can't just...
It's done! Those of you who have the will to save this land, follow me. The rest of you, get out of my sight.
You've just crossed a terrible threshold, Arthas.
Jaina?
I'm sorry, Arthas. I can't watch you do this.
The Dreadlord then baits him into following him into Northrend. There he picks up the cursed sword Frostmourne. The sword steals his soul, and Arthas becomes the Lich King's champion. He kills his father, his kingdom, and damn near the world.
Ah, my son.
You no longer need to sacrifice for your people. You no longer need to bear the weight of your crown. I've taken care of everything.
What is this? What are you doing, my son?
Succeeding you, father.
He attacks the elves of Kel'Thalas, nearly wiping them out, killed and converted Ranger General Sylvanas Windrunner, turning her into an undead banshee. She eventually breaks free from his control and forms the Forsaken, a group of undead hell-bent on revenge that end up joining the Horde under thrall. He then merges with the Lich King and sits on his frozen throne until he eventually becomes the final boss of Wrath of the Lich King, WoW's most beloved expansion. This story is peak Blizzard, emotional, tragic, and so good that Blizzard has been trying, and failing, to top it for 15 years. When Arthas died in the Wrath of the Lich King expansion, players cried, gamers cried, even Blizzard cried because they realized, oh crap, we're never going to write anything this good again.
Father, is it over?
At long last. No king rules forever, my son.
I see. Only darkness before me.
And this basically covers the first 3 Warcraft games. When World of Warcraft launched in 2004, it wasn't just a game, it became a cultural event. For the first time without the structure of an RTS game, you could explore Azeroth with your friends. You could play as a mighty horde, orcs, trolls, tauren, and undead, or the Noble Alliance, if you want to be basic.
I'm sorry, but the test was positive. You're a basic bitch.
Humans, night elves, dwarves, and gnomes. More races have been added since the game progresses, but these are the originals. Declare your allegiance and kill each other for hours on end. It was huge, it was immersive, and the world felt alive. By its peak in 2010, WoW had 12 million subscribers, which is more people than the population of Belgium. It dominated the MMO world like no other game has before or after. People skipped work, skipped school, skipped showers, skipped relationships, skipped sunlight. And Blizzard, they were on top of the world.
I'm the king of the world!
No king rules forever, my son.
Then the cracks started to show. In 2010, Blizzard released Cataclysm and literally blew the world up. Cool idea, but the execution was a bit debatable. Then came expansions like Mist of Pandaria. Introduced Pandas, a good expansion, though it felt a bit out of place. Warlords of Draenor, time travel with huge potential, but somehow boring, due to a lack of content and story that was cut. Legion, a big hit and overall solid expansion, seemingly setting a pattern of one good and one bad expansion. Battle for Azeroth, sold as a back-to-basic orc versus human setting, but ended up everyone fighting over rocks and Azerite necklace chores. Although I will say the cinematics, especially the Old Soldier series with Saurfang, was perfection.
Only pain. have earned your warrior's death, my son. Yet once again, I am denied it.
For us WoW nerds, when we say we wanted a Warcraft movie, this is what we wanted. A movie-length version of this, not some live-action crap that looked like kids cosplaying. Shadowlands, the afterlife was somehow written worse than Witcher Season 2 and 3 and 4. Why can't they understand? We just want what's in the games and the books on the TV. We don't care about their artistic expression or bringing it forward for a modern audience. Fuck them. They drove away Henry Cavill and ruined the series. Those sorry sons of... Sorry, got a little carried away there. Anyway, Blizzard didn't help themselves with real-life controversies, employee lawsuits, and corporate chaos. Most notably, the 2021 suit which alleged discrimination and sexual misconduct against its female employees. Players left in droves for games like Final Fantasy XIV, from Preach Gaming to the Roach King himself, Asmongold, leaving the very game they built their careers on to try something new. In recent years, Blizzard has been trying really hard to win people back, and it is showing signs of life. Dragonflight brought back exploration, dragon riding, although odd at first, really improved traveling and exploration. Classic WoW was extremely popular, bringing back diehards for the good old days, even though they thought we didn't want it.
For previous expansions as they were then.
No. And by the way, you don't want to do that either. You think you do, but you don't.
Overall, player engagement is up. So is WoW back? Depends on who you ask. Personally, I think WoW is in a better spot today than it's been in a long time. Still flawed, but on the upswing. Now with the upcoming second installment of the Worldsoul Saga, Midnight, and the return of Chris Metzen, one of the OGs of Blizzard and its main storyteller, Blizzard claims this full trilogy of expansions will wrap up 20 years of storytelling, ending with The Last Titan. To bring everything up to speed, the current storyline kicked off Blizzard's new Worldsoul Saga with The War Within, which finally drags one of WoW's oldest lingering threats out of the shadows, the Void itself, led by the mysterious and long-teethed Xal'atath. For years, when she first appeared in the Legion expansion, she's been whispering from powerful artifacts, playing mind games, and manipulating mortals from behind the curtain.
The ruler of all worlds. Hear me, God of the Deep. I have brought you the Opener, the bringer of truths, the torch that lights the way. Honor our bargain. Free me to find my own fate.
Go, but the blade must remain to serve my will.
A fair exchange. Shadows guide you, my dear friend. We will meet again. I am certain of it.
And now she's stepping, well floating, into the spotlight as a full villain, pulling the strings of the Nerubians deep beneath the surface of Azeroth. The War Within takes us down into the actual heart of the world. The Hallowfall, the buried kingdoms, the ancient tunnels, or some might call secret tunnels.
Secret tunnel! Secret tunnel!
To uncover how the Void has been digging in, corrupting, planning, and quietly getting ready for something bigger. And all of that is just a setup for Midnight, where Xal'atath makes her big move topside and leads the Void in an all-out assault on the Sunwell in Kel'Thalas. For someone new to WoW, here's why it matters. The Sunwell is basically a magical nuclear generator that powers the High Elves and Blood Elves. But more importantly, it's tied to Azeroth's raw cosmic life energy. It was destroyed and corrupted by Arthas, but then purified and resurrected. If the Void corrupts it this time, however, it's game over.
That's it, man. Game over, man. It's game over.
Not just for elves, but for the entire planet. Midnight is the lights are going out expansion, where the Void tries to flip the switch. So the War Within is the Deep Earth setup, revealing Xal'atath's long game, and Midnight is the moment she finally steps into the battlefield to try to plunge Azeroth into shadow forever. Here's everything you need to know in simple terms so you can follow WoW's story. Azeroth is a living Titan egg. Yes, the planet is pregnant. No, we don't talk about it. Orcs aren't naturally evil. They were manipulated by demons. The Alliance, humans, dwarves, elves, etc., more civilization vibes. The Horde, orcs, Tauren, trolls, undead, more tribal warrior vibes. The old gods. Beneath the earth, they're basically evil Cthulhu tumors.
It's not a tumor.
The Burning Legion wants to destroy all life, led by Sargeras, a fallen titan. The Lich King created the undead scourge. Arthas is the most famous one. Dragons are extremely important. The dragon aspects were created to protect Azeroth. Deathwing was one of them and went full psycho. Sylvanas is complicated. Just know she went from hero to villain to anti-hero to war criminal to philosophical ghost. The Shadowlands happened. It happened, not everyone liked it, we moved on. The dragons got their power back after losing them to defeat the earlier mentioned Psycho Dragon. And finally, the War Within revealed someone on Blizzard's team likes feet.
Promised nothing. Not enough. But Illyria, we've already.
Despite everything, the highs, the lows, the writing retcons, the expansions that should have stayed on Blizzard's hard drives, WoW endures. Why? Because Azeroth is more than a game. It's memories. It's friendships, it's guild drama, it's the moment you stepped into Orgrimmar for the first time and felt that sense of adventure. It's a universe big enough to get lost in and human enough to feel familiar. It's a world that grows with you even if you quit and come back 10 years later. WoW isn't perfect, but it's special. So there you have it. The rise, the fall, the lore, the world, the villains, the cosmic nonsense, and why World of Warcraft is still one of the greatest gaming worlds ever made. If you want me to dive deeper into any specific part of this giant world of Warcraft, drop it in the comments, and I'll happily do a Texplained breakdown on any of them. If you enjoyed this Texplanation, hit like, subscribe, and join me for more episodes. Thanks for watching, and remember...
For the Alliance!
Whichever side you're on, just don't be a puto in the comments. This has been Dead Texan, and I'll see you in the next one.